Hello guys, welcome back to another tutorial. Hit the bell icon button so that you don't miss out any tutorial.
Hello everyone and welcome back. In this lesson we are going to introduce the Angular ng-switch core directive. So as we have seen, we can conditionally add or remove elements to a page if using the ng-if core directive. ng-if is useful in the case when we want to add the element to the page depending on a condition, or we want to remove it. So there are only two possibilities. But there are many other cases where we have more than these two possibilities. For example, here in the case of the category property of each course. Let's say that we want to add here a label that identifies if the course is beginner, intermediate or advanced. Let's see how ng-switch is going to help us to create here a category label just above here the view course button. So we are going to go here to our template, and here just below the course description we are going to add here a new div, and we are going to add it the CSS class course category. Now inside this container we are going to add the category itself. The category is going to be simply a div which is going to have the class category. Let's add here the beginner category, for example. So if we now try this out, we are going to see that the beginner tag is being added to all the courses. Instead of adding this to every course, we want to add this depending on the value of the course category. We can do that in the following way. We are going to apply here the ng-switch directive. So this is going to work in a similar way to a JavaScript switch statement. We are going to choose the expression onto which we want to switch on, which is going to be the course category itself. And then, depending on the value of the category, we are going to show or not here the beginner category. So one of the cases that we want to show is indeed the beginner category, and we are going to identify that via a case clause. We are going to add here the ng-switch case structural directive here with the asterisk syntax. This case is going to be considered active if the value of this expression course.category is identical to beginner. So in this case we are going to be showing this label. If we now try this out, we are going to see that only the courses that are beginner courses have the beginner tag as expected. We also want to add here, for example, the case of intermediate courses. So we are going to add here the matching expression intermediate, and we are going to fix here our label. So if we try this out, we are going to see that now certain courses get applied here the intermediate tag, and the same goes for the advanced tag. So we want to add here a third possibility, advanced courses. So if we try this out, we are going to see that indeed certain courses now have here the advanced tag. Now we also want to cover the possibility when the course category expression does not match any of the known cases. In that case, we want to write the category all levels. We can do that by applying the following directive, the ng-switch default structural directive. So in order to see the all levels tag, we are going to have to go here to our db data file that contains the data that we are displaying, and let's for example go to the first course and remove here the category property. So if we now try this out, we are going to see that indeed we have here the all levels tag displayed as expected. So as you can see, the main difference between ng-switch and ng-if is that here with ng-switch we can cover multiple alternative cases very easily, and we can even provide a default case. This is unlike ng-if, where we really only have two possibilities. And with this we have covered the multiple options available with ng-switch. Let's now talk about another very commonly used Angular core directive, ng-container. In this lesson we are going to cover the ng-container Angular core directive. So far we have been using several Angular structural directives, such as for example ng-if or ng-switch case. Now so far we had here clear parent elements onto which to apply these directives. This is not always the case. We might find ourselves on a situation where, for example, our component does not have a top-level element, such as, for example, the case here where we have everything wrapped around course card. It might happen that the component does not have one single parent element onto which we can apply our ngIf. In a similar way, here in our ngSwitch example, we had here a parent div onto which we have applied ngSwitch. We might not always be in the situation where we have a single parent element. We might even have the situation where we want to have here inside an ngSwitch case not only one element, meaning one div with class category, but multiple elements inside a switch case, and there is not one single parent element that wraps the complete case. If we find ourselves in that situation, we might be tempted to add an extra div to our component without any need for it, other than to have a place to apply our ngIf. Something like this. We would take in here the ngIf clause, we would apply it here to this parent container, and inside it we would add here the multiple elements which are part of our component. Now, we don't have to create these extra wrapper elements just to apply a structural directive. We can instead use the ng-container directive that is available via Angular Core. So this is a wrapping container element onto which we can apply a structural directive. So we can always use ng-containers as sort of a template hook for applying this type of directives. The same goes here at the level of ngSwitch. So if by some reason we don't have here a div onto which to apply our ngSwitch directive, we can also add here an ng-container. We can apply our ngSwitch directly here in our ng-container, and inside the ng-container we can place anything that we want, so any valid template element. The same goes here at the level of the category classes. In this case, we can apply here our ngSwitch case directive directly here in the category div. But we can alternatively apply our ngSwitch case clause on top of an ng-container. Let's, for example, move the ngSwitch case clause here to our ng-container, and let's move here the beginner category inside our container. And let's try this out to see if everything is working still just like before. So as we can see, that is indeed the case. Our functionality is still working as expected. So if you ever find yourself in a situation where you don't have any convenient place to apply a structural directive, instead of creating an extra element such as a div just for being able to apply that directive, let's use instead ng-container, because this will not create extra DOM elements, and this will help to keep our page more lightweight. And with this we have covered the Angular Core ng-container directive.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, do give us a thumbs up and share it. Also check out amazing discounts and offers on our premium courses in the description below.